What's up, Super Fiends? It's Iowa, and today we have an unboxing for the My Hero Academia CCG Deckloadable content. This is also known as the DLC. This is really a supplemental expansion. There are going to be exclusive cards in here. Do you need them to play? Not really, but can you use them to enhance your gameplay? Most definitely. Now, what this is it comes with 24 cards, and there's going to be 12 different types of cards that you're guaranteed, and they're all going to be foil. What's nice is it also features 4 different characters that are on the box. You'll also get foundations, attacks. There's some really cool things that you can get from this. These retail about $30, and if you can find them for around that price, that's what I got it for. And yeah, let's get into it. Oh shoot, it has tape at the top. Well, we can try opening from the bottom. That's what I like to do sometimes with these types of boxes. Is I'll open from the bottom. You don't need any uh, you don't need scissors and knife for that. You just open it from the bottom and it still comes out nice and neat. So it comes in this really nice plastic thing so the cards aren't like jumbled everywhere, and has that nice foiling. Right here we already got All Might, and this card is pretty great. I think that this All Might is one of the strongest ones, and it really is different from the other All Mights because a lot of them share like 2 symbols. It's usually like all good, and this All Might seems a lot different in playstyle. You're guaranteed damage for your current attack and your next, and then if the condition is met, then you get to double up on the damage. So you could have a +4. The second enhance, you can discard 1 momentum and then draw 1 card, and then if the attack is not blocked, you get to draw another card. So there's really a lot of double dipping with this All Might, where you have a secondary condition, and if that's met, then you get to double up on damage or draw, which is very powerful. So I do think that this is possibly the best All Might to come out so far. So I'm really excited for this. Let's see how far we can get this opened. Oh shoot, it's one of those. How we can get to the cards. So again, we've talked about the All Might, very cool card, and you get 2 copies. So there is the Small Might, which benefits from having multiple copies of All Might. So this is really nice. And that being said, I do want to note that even just buying 1 copy of this is really good because you don't technically have a full playset, but I do think, and I'm being very truthful here, but what's really nice is you can definitely just buy one of these and then still have a pretty good selection of cards to choose from because it will enhance your deck. I don't think that you absolutely need two boxes of these to get a full playset to do whatever you're trying to do at a competitive level. I think even just buying one of these can help you further your your card choices for your deck building. But it is nice to get a second copy if you'd like, but it is not necessary. Even one will just take you very far, being allowing you to play 4 new characters and then also splashing some attacks that could really just help you out. So we got the 2 All Mights. The next one is Mighty Punch. This card is a lot of damage. I don't really like the block mod. +3 is about the highest you can get. And then you have the enhances, which is enhance to discard the top 4 cards of your deck. So you're milling yourself, and if this attack is not blocked, you get to draw 2 cards. So realistically, you want to get some speed on this card, and All Might is not really going to do that because he's more damage, but All Might does make this attack into a 9 damage attack, and potentially 11 if this is the second attack and the first condition was met on the first attack. So I'd probably like to see this paired with some characters that have something to do with speed. I think that would be really good. Next up, we have Staggering Positivity. It has Enhanced Flip. Your attack gets +2 damage. If this attack is blocked, shuffle up to 3 cards from either player's discard pile into their deck. So this was a card that was something that I had wanted when the first set just came out and it was pre-release week. I was like, man, we really need some cards that have some interaction with the discard pile. and that's exactly what you get with this card. So you can do some really neat plays against Todoroki, shuffling attacks back into the deck. You're shutting down Frigid Heat Wave, you're shutting down Todoroki. You can also use this against decks that use Night Watch. You can shuffle all of their actions into their deck. This even works very well against Eraserhead. You shuffle in their Erase, and then they don't have Erase no more. So, another cool card. Next up, we have Ochaco. Now, I have my buddy Ty. Y'all know Ty. Love my brother. So, Ty really likes this character card and thinks that Ochaco is just nuts. And I see where he's coming from. I really do. It is a good character, and I do think that this is something great. Now, the one thing I will say about Ochako is this is her second character card, and I want to say that having a second character card does not mean that it's better, worse, or anywhere, fully related to their previous character. In fact, I really think that this character and then the other Ochako are very different playstyles and have different options. So, that being said, it's just another way for Ochaco fans to play their favorite character. Next up, we have Float Combo, and this foiling is insane. I love the foiling work that they do. It looks way better in person, but there's like little dots at the top that you can just see how the foil works. And this attack is awesome. You can really use this with Ojiro, and Ojiro can give this attack very big damage, and it would instantly becomes a 6 high for 7 damage. Now that's incredible. The block mod is also really amazing. It's a high, which is the most common attack zone, and it's a +2 modifier, so it's pretty moderately, balanced for the block zone. And next, you have these different abilities that can come in handy, but you don't really need them. It's really the stats that get you the float combo. So if you play any of these symbols like air, chaos, and death, I definitely think that you could consider putting float combo into your deck because it's an attack that just has stats. Stats go a long way. Next up, we have first day of class. Now, this is awesome because there are two different abilities on here that are just very relevant and can help a lot of characters. So the first one is you can use this card after response flip after this card is committed during the enhanced step, ready it, playable while committed. So effectively what this is used for is to mitigate any commit one foundation cost. So if you have any of these symbols and you have a character card or foundation or even an attack that says commit one foundation, before the colon, you can use this and then ready it afterwards. So you technically didn't have to pay cost. The second ability is enhance commit. If this first attack this turn, then you can have your next check to play an attack this turn gets +2. So this really rewards you for attacking, being aggressive, and guaranteeing your next check. So you effectively commit one, and you're technically paying for two. So I like this. It helps you become more aggressive, and it's another low block. So if your deck didn't have any low blocks, well, now you do. Next up, we have Tenya Iida, and this is his second character card, which is pretty sweet. This one has more to do with speed and damage, so I like that they have this iteration of Iida, because the first one didn't have any damage, but this one does. You effectively get to filter your hand with this Iida, and you can also, if your attacks have double the speed, you can get free damage on your attacks. Now, he is a very squishy character, but he is also 7 hand size. So if you wanted to play a very fast Iida with 7 hand size, pick up the DLC. We have high engine kick, and this attack is very amazing. I was convinced by my friend Fatty Power, and Fatty Power was like, "Yo, what if you played high engine kick with Nomu?" And Nomu makes this into a 8 high for 8. If you discard an attack card, you give it +4 speed, you filter, and then you give it +4 damage. And what's very neat about this is you're guaranteed at least the 2 speed. So even in worst case scenario, if you discarded a foundation or whatever, it becomes a 6 high for 8 damage with Nomu. And you're being able to filter. So you're getting the option to filter into more attacks or filter your attacks into more foundations. And it also has a +1 mid block. So this card is absolutely insane. I do think that we stick this into Nomu right away. Next we have Class 1A President. This is a pretty decent card. You know, it's a 1 difficulty and it allows you to potentially get damage or even damage reduction. And every points matter. So I don't know if I would play this as a 4x, but having 1 or 2 could be helpful and relevant into different situations. Next we have Suyu. We have the second copy of Proppy. And I have to shout out a player. I don't remember their name. I really tried to look for their name and was asking people and trying to dig for their name. But they played a really spicy Proppy deck list against me, and I gave that same deck idea and built it and teched it for my buddy Ty, you know, my brother Ty, and Ty was able to get second at the PPG case tournament. Now, with Froppy, the insane thing you can do is Froppy is giving +4 damage to their ranged attack by discarding a card from your opponent's card pool. So what you really do is you play this underwater and you play 4 Grasping Tape Toss and 4 Tape Swing. This is essentially 8 throws. And every time your opponent has a card in their card pool, you can discard it for +4 damage, and it's just going to be insane. I think Tape Swing needs more credit if it doesn't already have it, because it is a 4-speed throw. Think about that. 4 speed is a lot of speed, and for a throw, that's just kind of insane. Not only that, but the first enhance allows you to get additional speed. So giving +2 speed to Tape Swing, which is already a throw, it's not technically a throw, but it's functionally a throw. That's insane. You have to block on a 6 speed attack, and if you block it, you have to commit some foundations, and you'll also take half of whatever it was pumped up to. And the other option is you don't block it because it has so much speed, and then you take full damage, which is a lot of damage. And let's talk about that health. 29 health, that's the same amount of health as Kirishima. And yeah, I was playing against that one player in that tournament, and it was very close games. I could have been knocked out. I really could have. Next we have Tongue Whip. And I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of low blocks. Like, I understand that they have to be in the deck, but in the current meta, I don't think that there are many low attacks that warrant playing too many low blocks into the format. But what's insane about this card is I feel like this card is always good for utility. It's very just statted well. It's a 4 diff, 4 low for 4. And you can also make this into a late game card because it gets +1 damage for each card in your rival's card pool. So not only is it being utility, it pumps damage to itself. Matter of fact, this card's at least a 5 low for 5 if you think about it. Because you're adding a card to your opponent's card pool, you're giving +1 damage onto this. It's really a 4 diff, 5 low for 5. But you have relevant abilities that either scale or they make it harder for your opponent to block later in the turn. So really great card. If you could get 4, I would. But, you know, just having 2 to splash in your deck is also not a bad idea. Next up, we have First Villain Encounter, and I actually love this card. I love it a lot. But I don't look at it as an offensive card, even though its ability is Enhance Commit. Your attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage. Your next range attack this turn gets -1 difficulty. So the thing about water is I think it is a very defensive symbol, but I think one of the troubles it has is speed. And I think speed is really important for defense. So when I first saw First Villain Encounter, I really like this card because I think it doesn't really have anything to do with speed, but I really do enjoy that it has a high block, it's a 2 modifier, so that's not too bad, and it also has the Deadlock enhance. And Deadlock is very relevant if you're especially playing Water, Kamui Woods, Todoroki, and being defensive, getting your opponent to deadlock and then having this devastating deadlock in hands flip, your rival adds 2 foundations from their stage to their card pool, that could really change the game drastically and put you into favor to finishing them out. So there definitely needs to be more deadlock enhances into the game, and I think that that one is awesome. And I also forgot to mention Mighty Punches, deadlock enhance, which is not too bad. Discard the top 10 cards of your rival's deck. And that's pretty much all for the DLC. I'm really glad to have these into my collection now. I can start building different decks and even increasing, what options I have for the card game. And I do want to mention again, like this is an awesome product. I highly recommend buying it if you are interested in the characters or the cards that I can offer, but it is not 100% necessary to do everything that you need to do. The PPG 1K, you had the option to play DLC cards, and I just didn't have that option around me, and I was able to do just fine without them. Uh, do you need these? No. Are they nice to have and you can have a great time with them? 100%. Very worth it. So, thank you for watching the unboxing, and let me know what you think about the cards. And if you're new to the channel, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe.